Welcome to this session where we're going to look at sketching logarithmic functions or log graphs. Okay, so sketching is very simple. Sketching of logarithmic graphs is very simple, but you just need to master the technique. Okay, let me do this. Alright, so we are doing sketching log graphs. You need to master the basics even before you can look at how to sketch the rest. So let's say you have y is equal to the next. If you know how to sketch the next, meaning that everything will be very easy. So let's start with y is equal to the next. So y is equal to natural log of x. How do you sketch? So that is my y-axis, this is my x-axis, and that is my y-axis. One thing you need to understand with the logarithmic graphs is that the asymptote is the y-axis. For exponentials, the asymptote is the x-axis, but with these logarithmic graphs, it is the y-axis. So how do you sketch that? So what we are going to do is this. Okay, so the y-axis is our asymptote, meaning that the graph should not cross the y-axis. It shouldn't cross the y-axis. So because the x is positive, meaning that the graph will come from the positive x-axis, then it will come like that. So this graph is y is equal to ln x. So that is how you get to sketch. Let's look at another example. Let's say you have y is equal to ln negative x. How can you sketch that? So as usual, we've said the asymptote is the y-axis. So the y-axis is the asymptote. The graph shouldn't cross the y-axis. Because x is negative there, the graph will start from the negative x-axis, then coming down like that. It shouldn't cross or touch the y-axis. So that is y is equal to ln negative of x. That is how to sketch that. Let's look at another example. What if you have y is equal to ln maybe x minus what? X minus maybe x minus 2, right? So let's sketch that. Okay. So as we've said, the graph shouldn't cross the y-axis. The asymptote is the y-axis. So the y-axis is the asymptote. It can cross the x-axis. So if you saw from what we drew, like y is equal to ln x, the graph was coming like that. It was like that. So at the point where it was crossing the x-axis, that is 1. How do we know that that is 1? So we can say along the x-axis, what you need to know is that y is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to ln x. To find x, we know that the natural log has a base of e. So to find x, this is what you get to do. So you just say 0 is equal to ln base of e, then x. You take this e to the other side, so it will be e to the power x is equal to, e to the power 0 is equal to x. And e to the power 0, any number is to the power 0 is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1. So where it crosses the x-axis is just a 1. So now we have the horizontal, not even the horizontal shift. Yeah, the horizontal shift actually. So the shifting happens in the y-axis also. Let me just get rid of this. Okay. Okay, even the graph. So we can find first the horizontal shift where the graph will be shifted. So we can just say x minus 2 is equal to 0. You just equate what is in the brackets. So x will be equal to what? 2. So since we know that the asymptote has been shifted to x is equal to 2, so we're going to draw like this. So the graph was like this. This is the y-axis. That is the x-axis. Now the asymptote has been shifted slightly. So it's actually the asymptote is the y, but at this point, at this time around, it has been shifted to the right since this x is equal to positive. So it has been shifted to the right. So instead of being on x is equal to 0, it is now on x is equal to 2. So it is there on 2. Meaning that even there where the graph will cross, instead of crossing on 1 as it is with the next, because of this 2, we are going to add 2 plus 1, so it will pass on 3. That is where it crosses the x-axis. So that's how to sketch for y is equal to x minus 2. Let's look at another one. What if you have, let's say, y is equal to natural log of maybe 2x minus or 2x plus 6. How can you sketch this? So you need to evaluate first what is in the bracket. So 2 plus 6 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to negative 6. If we find the value of x, that will be equal to negative 3. So the graph has been shifted. The asymptote has been shifted to negative 3. That is what we need to know there. So if we sketch the original axis is that is the x. So it has been shifted to negative 3. So the asymptote is now there. Instead of being at 0, it is at negative 3. So the graph shouldn't cross. And x is positive, meaning that it will be coming from the positive x-axis, then coming like that. So we just need to get to find the points where it crosses the y-axis and the x-axis. Where it crosses the x-axis, what you need to know, since in the x-axis y is equal to 0, you substitute where there is y, you substitute 0. So this is what you should do. So it says 0 is equal to ln 2x minus 6. And you know that ln has a base of a. It's a natural log of a. So we get to have e to the power 0 is equal to 2x minus 6. So e to the power 0 is just 1. So 1 is equal to 2x minus 6. So 2x will be equal to, so that will be positive 6 plus 1, that is 7. So we will get to find that x is equal to 7 over 2. So where it crosses there, the x-axis is 7 over 2 actually. Then where it crosses the y-axis, just in that equation, substitute where there is x, substitute 0. If we substitute 0 there, we'll find that where there is x, we substitute 0. We'll find that y is equal to, y will be equal to ln 6. So there, it is actually ln 6. So that is how to sketch. Then let's look at a situation whereby you have maybe y is equal to ln open brackets 2 minus x. The first thing you must do, equate 2 minus x to 0. So meaning that x will be equal to 2, right? So the graph will shift, the asymptote will shift. Instead of being on 0, it will shift to 2. Then the graph will be like this. So the asymptote has shifted on positive 2. So because this x is negative, instead of starting on the positive x-axis, coming on from the positive x-axis, it will be coming from the negative x-axis because of the negative x in that function. Then after we do this, we just get to find the points there and there, since the question was y is equal to ln 2 minus x, right? Okay, so where it crosses the y-axis, you just equate 0 there, so it will be at ln 2. There it is ln 2. Where it crosses the x-axis, you just equate to 0, so it will be 0 is equal to ln natural log of 2 minus x. So it has base e there, so it will be e to the power 0 is equal to 2 minus x. Any number raised to the power 0 is 1, so 1 minus 2 there is equal to negative x. There we'll have negative 1 is equal to negative x, and we'll get to find x to be 1. So where it crosses the x-axis, that is 1. So this is how you should evaluate the log graphs. Maybe let's look at another scenario whereby you have maybe y is equal to negative, let's say negative 1 plus ln open bracket, let's say 2x minus 1. Okay, 2x minus 2. Okay, so how do you sketch this? So start with what is in the bracket. So 2x minus 2 is equal to 0. What will be the value of x? X will be equal to negative 1, meaning that the graph, the asymptote has been shifted to negative 1, so the graph will be like this. The asymptote will be on negative 1. Then you check, is x positive or negative? The x is positive, right? So it will come from the positive, then going down like that. So you just need to get the points there and there. So how do you get the point? You just form equations. You just solve equations. So to get the point at x, y is equal to 0, right? At y, x is equal to 0. Let's start with y. So the point at y will be equal to, y is equal to negative ln plus, where there is x there, substitute 0, that will be 2 times 0, that is 0, minus 2, that is negative 2. So it will be negative 1 plus ln of negative 2, like that. So that is where it crosses. So it is negative 1 plus ln of negative 2. But for this one, there is no even in negative log, yeah. So there might be some misconception with formulating the equation, but so obviously all the equations will be given in an exam. They won't have a negative natural log. So for the sake of practice, let's consider that it is given that okay, then what we need now to find is the point there. So what we are going to say for that point, we are going to equate y to be 0, so -1 plus natural log of 2x minus 2. So 1 will come this side, so 1 will be equal to natural log of 2x minus 2. Then natural log is e to the power what is in base e rather. So that is what we are going to have. So it will be e to the power 1, which is just e, is equal to 2x minus 2. To find the value of x, this 2 will go to this side, so it will be e plus 2 is equal to 2x. Then you find the value of x. So our value of x will be equal to e plus 2 over 2. So there the point is e plus 2 over 2. So this is how you get to sketch the logarithmic functions. Don't forget to subscribe.